Good evening, everyone.
Good evening, Colonel. We're waiting a few moments for our chair.
Yes, sir.
He is here now.
Yeah, but I feel strongly.
Mm-hmm.
I think, and the same people could appeal again next. Same people could appeal again next.
Good evening. We call the meeting to order at 6:02 p.m. Tuesday, September 2nd, of the Governance Policy and Economic Development Subcommittee. And want to welcome those who are online and those who are in the room, and we will begin. So the first, excuse me, Counselor Cooper, are mics on?
Sorry, thank you. Thank you. Yes, mics are on now. So the meeting is called to order. Again, it was 6:02 p.m. of the Governance Policy and Economic Development Subcommittee meeting. And roll call, everyone is present except for Counselor McClary. And so we will move right into old business. Discussion and possible action regarding the artificial turf at Bloomfield High School. I know, GM, from the last meeting, there was, should have been a scheduled time with, the Board of Ed, to discuss, finances of that proposal.
Yes,
Has that occurred?
I can tell you that we did have a meeting, sir, and we did not get into the finances of it for a number of reasons, primarily that which is trying to truly have an appreciation for where the town intends to go with its plans for the high school. Are we going to be looking to make a replacement for the high school at any time soon? Or are we are we willing to spend upwards of over $1 million for the field to be reconditioned with a new surface? I know, there was an argument made for the removal of the artificial turf and, and basically looking towards, going towards natural turf. And as I sat with, Dr. Youngberg today, her athletic director, the facilities manager of, BOE, our Dave, Malesko, and Dan, Carter, I came away with, a number of, things that I would like for council's, consideration to determine whether or not, you are, truly want to go, the way of, a natural turf. There seems to be, some serious pros, to the argument of, artificial turf, that I'm prepared to share with you this evening if you'd like to hear them. But I think, before we do anything else, we really need to understand, what our plans are for the high school. So, if you'd like to hear what came out of that meeting, I'm more than willing to share with you, to give some insight. But if you know, you want to table it until we understand where we're going with the high school, that's up to you, your purview, whatever you like, so.
Councilor Merrick, you had a question?
Yeah, thank you. I think, last thing I remember is we want to hear how they feel about, have they heard our environmental committees, thoughts about artificial turf? Are they fully aware of all the risks and dangers and what people are doing in other towns about it? That was, we care about what they think, as much as anything else, and wonder if we should hear that, before we make a decision. Have they, I mean, you may talk to the athletic people, but maybe it ought to be discussed with the superintendent as well, because there are some real risks there. And I wonder if the health risks in many towns have been so considered so serious that they said they're not going to go with it at all. But I know there are some people that feel very strongly about it, I guess, especially the kids. So I don't know where we should go now, but I certainly would want to hear the Board of Education speak about what they want.
Well, and thank you for that, Council Merritt, and I can tell you, if if you mean by Board of Education, if you mean, Dr. Youngberg and her staff, I can tell you, there was overwhelming support, for, artificial turf fields for a number of reasons. When you talk about, low maintenance costs, no mowing, watering, fertilizing, or reseeding required, which saves money on labor over time compared to natural grass, all-weather usability, drains quickly after rain, reducing, downtime, can be used in most weather conditions without becoming muddy or damaged. The durability associated with it is designed to withstand heavy use without significant wear and tear, ideal for facilities with high traffic or frequent events, which is actually what we experience here in Bloomfield. It could be used by Bloomfield soccer, girls and boys, football, junior Warhawks football, flag football, baseball, and softball training when rainy and other natural fields are unplayable. Town soccer, town track, various towns events, and unified sporting events will all have usage of the field. Um, Consistent playing surfaces, no holes, bare patches, or uneven grass provides a uniform surface, reducing unpredictable ball behavior and injury. Increased time usage can accommodate more games, practices, and events without resting the field. Allows for extended hours and multi-sport use. In the best interest of our student athletes, equity among sports, all teams can access and play. If we deal with a natural grass field, then we're really only limiting it to, high school varsity football. It's what, makes, the turf, more equitable amongst all sports. It's Title IX compliance.
So Jim, if you don't mind,
Yes,
so I understand, right? There's a lot of positives to it, certainly, right? What if Councilor Merritt is okay with, what I'd like to do is we wait until not only do we have the financials, but also those reasons behind the pros and cons. We've heard from the CEC, and I think it was um, the, uh, the ask at the last meeting was to look and see what the financials look like. But also this information is helpful as far as what the Board of Ed, well, the Bloomfield High School thinks and by extension also the Board of Ed, we, may want to get to hear what they have to say about it too. So it sounds very comprehensive, right? And I would wait for us to get the full report, if that's okay with you, Council Merritt.
Oh, yeah, but I think we should wait. I agree.
Mhm.
But I also question, I don't know how soon that field will need to be replaced. So
the field right now is beyond its natural life, and it's something that we need to look into to determine which direction we want to go. We are going to seek the consultant who's assisting us with the Rockwell project to do an assessment of the field to see what can be done to perhaps get extended life out of the field right now, or see if in fact it's at the end of its life, and we need to plan for a replacement and to avoid any type of injury. So we are at that point. It is not a capital improvement project that Dr. Youngberg was actually looking to invest money in, not knowing where we were going to be with the high school. So if you want me to get a price for a natural field to be installed and a price for the replacement of the present field, I can do that. You just tell me what you would
well, I
like.
think we're going to probably need that information sometime, but
Mhm.
I would also say that if money is going to be needed in the next 4 years, I don't think it's going to appear magically for all reasons that all of us know. So I think, so that becomes a real question of what our budgeting ability will be in the next few years.
Yeah, and the overwhelming sentiment is that all communities surrounding us use artificial turf for the number of reasons I stated, and
I don't argue with that.
Yeah.
I've heard those before.
yeah,
And I think they are pertinent. We had talked one time about continuing with our official term at the high school, but not with Rockwell. And yeah, because that's a whole different situation.
well, right
And,
now Rockwell was designed for artificial. I spoke to Dave today, and he said that was designed for their
Was
multi.
it? Okay. And that, I don't know where that, I thought it came up in this committee, but I'm not sure where. Anyway, I fully agree with delaying it till we get more information.
I just want to make sure that I'm clear on the request. Would you like a price for both natural grass and artificial turf? Is that what the request is?
That becomes very pertinent.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Okay, we can look into that.
I'd also like to add, this has been a conversation for the last several years. It's only come up now as something to move on, but we've been conferring about the need and the price actually over the last couple of years. My view is I thought we were going to get some statistical information relative to the impact of the astroturf or the turf on other young people, maybe in this region or nationally, just to give some
Balance.
yeah. So we know what essentially has been the problem. They've identified some of those issues the last time.
Are you
And
talking about health impacts? I'm sorry.
yes,
Andy.
yes. And because as far as I can remember, the tartan tracks or these type of fields have been strongly encouraged simply because it's uh, been used primarily for those premier type teams and things of that sort. Hartford High has had it, Buckley has had it. And I just feel like, yes, if we're examining the costs and we're examining what impact it has on our youth, then we should get that information. I don't think we would be moving to build a new school within the next year or so. And I'm not saying spend $1 million on an item and then the building's torn down and we build again. But I think we need to think about what we need now, because you just said it's already past its life or at the point of great need to replace. And so that's one reason why this discussion has come up more frequently of late. I just think we should have that other supportive documentation along with what the pros that you've identified, but also some of the other information that supports the other side relative to the impact on young people and injuries and things of that sort, so we can weigh it properly,
Okay,
pros and cons.
I will get that. I know, that Dave Malesko, recently, shared a publication study that spoke to, exactly what you're speaking to. I'll provide that document, as supporting material to this committee. And we'll look into the pricing as well.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Town Manager.
Welcome.
Next order of business is discussion, business development updates. Director Coleman.
Good evening, Mr. Chair, members of the committee. This is our standard report. If you want some changes in how we do it in the format, please let us know. This is for July and August, since there was not we haven't had a meeting in this fiscal year as yet. Again, for the record, I'm John Coleman, Director of Building and Land Use. The Town Center Plan, as you know, was adopted last May, and subsequently, we have applied for a $23 million CIF grant with the state of Connecticut, and we're waiting their decision on that grant, which we anticipate hopefully will come sometime this month. And we'll obviously await that eagerly to hopefully we get a positive reaction from them. In terms of the Plan of Conservation and Development, that's been around for a while. We had the necessary public hearing in July. And after that public hearing, I went through all of the comments that we received from members of the public, from members of the commission, both at that public hearing, but also along the way in emails and other meetings. And I decided that a number of those comments, many of them were significant and extensive. And that based on that, we needed to do a significant rewrite before we finalized it. I know that we told you that once a year ago, that we needed assistance. I have requested from the town manager some financial assistance to utilize a consultant for about 6 weeks to work with me because of the workload. I can't just get it all done. I want to get it done soon. And I have so far had a favorable response. And so we will be pursuing, we already have, to do a pretty significant rewrite on the document, have it ready in about 5 or 6 weeks. The commission hopefully then will be able to adopt it, and then it will be formally sent to you for your review and comment. That's really all under the statute you can do is review and comment. You do not have the authority to approve or disapprove. The commission is the final and only authority on adopting the town plan of conservation and development. So we'll keep you posted on that, but we're excited to finalize it. Moving on to ordinances and amendments and whatnot, as you know, the inclusionary zoning regulations were adopted in 2020 in April. Linda and I are working on the policies and procedures so that we can implement those regulations. They set the guidelines, but we have to have policies and procedures in place in terms of what we require of developers so that we can basically going forward have an accountability, get an annual report from them so that the as part of the affordability plan, we can keep tabs on it and make sure that it's being continued as was approved. The cannabis moratorium will be extended till December 1 because we have not had time to finalize the new cannabis regulations. But we have not any informal interest yet for doing it, so we're not under any pressure there. And we're continuing to finalize the policies and procedures for the Housing Trust Fund that you established some time ago. Under approved development or under development that's under construction, Rife Hill Hollow is nearly basically completed. We have one major punch list item to do, and that's to make the improvements in Lassalette Park that they agreed to do. The original improvements to do a paved walkway, actually a dust walkway, has proven unfeasible because of slope and location. So we're going to be meeting actually next Monday with the Department of Environmental Protection, who has authority over that because that's where we got the funding to buy the land, to do a new proposal, which basically consists of a small parking area right when you come in. So we'll have a formal parking area for about 8 or 9 vehicles, a handicap location, and a kiosk that'll sort of talk about the park and the trails that are there. Telus 2, right down the street, has received its certificate of occupancy and is filling up. Seabury, it's 24 unit residential addition is well under construction and pursuing. The Watkins Simsbury 32 single family development that is also under construction and proceeding on time. The 871-885 Blue Hills Avenue, better known as Arbella at Blue Hills Avenue, is ready to go pending a tax agreement finalization one way or the other. The 90-116 West Tenley Town Road warehouse proposal has been withdrawn by the present developer, so that the developer that did get approval is not going forward with that development. When the court decision was issued, the time lapse for being able to be more marketable was not in place. The market had sort of passed it, and so they have decided not to proceed with it. Popeyes, fortunately, has restarted, and hopefully we'll now see them coming out of the ground shortly, but there was a 6-week hiatus there that had me concerned, but they have restarted construction. The self-storage facility at 85 Granby Street has received its temporary certificate of occupancy. And the 59 Douglas Street self-storage facility is well under construction. In terms of things on the horizon, 270 Woodland Street, we had a preliminary informal proposal submitted for 150 housing units, and we had a full staff review of that, and they are now back at the drawing boards responding to those staff comments, and we expect to hear back from them shortly. 1151 Blue Hills Avenue, which is the cathedral. We recently had a pre-development informal presentation to the Town Plan and Zoning Commission in its last meeting, and a public hearing is scheduled for them to begin the formal process at our September 25th meeting. That will mainly be on not on the pure development side, but it will be on the regulation side. They need both a text change to the zoning regulations and a map change to the zoning map to proceed. So it's going to take 2 or 3 months to process through. 132 Griffin Road North, where the last conversation was about a data center, there has been no further activity on that site or any further contact with the property owner or potential developer. So we have heard nothing more on the data center for that site. 394 Tungus Avenue, which is the vacant land, which is now a tobacco field at the moment at the corner of Day Hill. We had a pre-development meeting for a multifamily development probably 2 months ago, and there's been no further activity on that site either. And phase 4 of the Town Center Apartments with Mr. Butler, the one that comes from Gab Road North on the west side of Tungus. He will be making a presentation to the townwide EDC-DA, Economic Development Commission, at its meeting on September 9th. So next week he will be making a presentation. In terms of potential development, the battery storage facilities, we have had no activity on either site that was still active, the one off of Cottage Grove Road and the one at Terrifield Road. We have not heard any sign from either one of them, nor, as far as we know, or we would know, have they made an application to the siting council. And finally, the numbers for July and August. We had 398 building permits with a building permit value of $244,600 roughly. And we had a construction value of $18,830,650. A relatively slow time of the year for actual building permits. They're basically everyone's under construction at that point. But it's starting to pick up again. And that briefly is our report for July and August. Happy to answer questions.
Mayor?
I guess my question is about the Arbella. And I know that's still in the process of being figured out relative to some of the questions that have been posed at the last finance meeting. I know they had 2 proposals, one being for 7 years, tax abatement 7 years for 17 affordable units, and the other is for an additional 3 affordable units, making it 20 for a 10-year period. I do see in that last meeting, there was a lot of discussion about PLA, which was already kind of determined that's not the route that they could take. Was there any further discussion about identifying, I think it was 20% of Bloomfield residents, or was it 20 in number? I'm just wondering, there was some discussion about employment. And I'm wondering if any of that was further discussed or.
If it has, I have not been party to it. I can tell you though, that to bring you up to date, that this morning I received, in response to the last finance committee meeting, this morning the developer submitted a final, or his latest proposal. And their latest proposal is to basically go back to the original proposal, which was for 7 years and 17 units. His primary reason for that is that that proposal conforms, in his opinion, to the existing policy. And he's concerned that deviating from that policy at this point, because it's already been indicated that that policy needs to be updated for new procedures as set forth by the state statutes, is going to take a fair amount of time, in his opinion. He does not have that time. He needs to get a decision, quite frankly, one way or another from the town. And he thinks that is the best way to move forward, in his opinion, at this point. If there's possibilities under the new policy and financial conditions to modify that agreement to add additional affordable units, they're willing to consider that down the road, but they need to have basically a final decision now to enable them to make a final decision.
Okay.
And
Thank
that, they will be present tomorrow evening at the meeting of the Finance Committee at 6 p.m.
Okay. Okay. And the proposal, or is it not formally proposed yet? The discussion about First Cathedral.
That is informal to date.
Okay.
Based on the conversation with the commission, the applicant will be starting the process at its the September 25th meeting, where they'll be making application for the text change in the zoning regulations and the map rezoning of their property. Once those are approved by the commission, they will then come in with the formal application for the master plan and site plan approval of the actual development. They did present a fairly complete presentation, brief but complete, at the last commission meeting last week, which showed what they wanted to do in terms of regulations, but also a preliminary design on the site plan and some elevations of the proposed buildings and descriptions of the particular uses that they wanted, right? You know, which is primarily affordable housing.
Thank you.
Anything else?
Just one more. The building that used to be Star Hardware, well, it wasn't Star Hardware, it was some kind of hardware store next to a gas station. They're adjacent to the library.
Correct.
Has there been any activity relative to a potential tenant for that property?
Not to my knowledge, although I have seen some activity in the building, but I have not seen, no permits have come in that I'm aware of, and have not had a discussion with the owner about a particular use. There's been a fair amount of interest in that property over the years, but the interested parties and the property owner have not been able to come to an appropriate agreement.
Is it required a total build out for anyone that does
Yes.
that complicated?
Dr. Coleman, I just have a question about, I know you said normally the permits, construction values and things, this is a low time, but is this aligned with like maybe the last couple of years? Do you
Yes, sir.
say?
Yes, sir. We're on target to achieve our objective of, about 1.4, 1.5 million in value permits, if not more. If our
Okay.
Bella goes forward, we'll have no trouble meeting it.
All right, because right now you said we have 244,000.6
Right.
in permits, but, so we got a million something to,
We've got 10 months to go.
all right, just asking. Thank you so much. Really appreciate your time.
Thank you, Pew. Thank you all three for your time.
Yep.
Thank you.
Okay, we're going to move along with the administrative report from town manager. I don't know if you can hear me. You say you're on mute.
I am just unmuted. Okay, sorry about that. I know in the essence of time, I'll be brief this evening, but I was very happy to reach a significant milestone in our police department. Not last week, but the week before, we changed the rank of lieutenant to that of captain. And so we promoted 4 individuals to the rank of captain. And we changed the rank of captain to that of deputy chief. So our former Captain Hydash is now Deputy Chief Hydash. And I did this for a number of reasons. First and foremost, the rank itself is very significant in law enforcement, as it is in all uniformed services. And that rank needs to truly capture the responsibilities of the position. And when we talk about our police department and we talk about folks who are in commander positions, that rank of lieutenant doesn't come close to capturing the responsibilities of the young men who are presently serving in that capacity. And so this will give them better influence amongst their peers and better influence for the town when they speak on behalf of the town and they go to a number of events. Showing up as a captain will provide more of an understanding of the positional power, expertise, and capabilities that they possess, which gets us a better seat at the table. And the same thing with our deputy chief. He now wears a star, which is deserving. And I can tell you when I was a commander here back in 2010, I retired in 2011. I felt um, the impact of not having the rank that went with responsibilities because as I was looking for to better myself after working here, I was doing so as a lieutenant, competing against captains and assistant chiefs, deputy chiefs, and we all had the same job. We were all commanders, but because my rank was not at the level of those, it was often a disadvantage. So I did try that time to change it. And now that I'm the doggone town manager, we didn't try, we made it happen. So we had a very happy group of family and colleagues and professional colleagues throughout Greater Hartford law enforcement who came and partook in this momentous event and a lot of smiles. And we have some of those things captured for you to see if you weren't able to make it. So more good news out of the police department. Long overdue recognition of some retired officers from 2002 was had just last week. I want to thank again Mayor Harrington for being able to come on out and lead, have his voice heard in terms of appreciation on behalf of the town. I want to thank Cindy Lloyd for bringing this to my attention, that these officers, when they left, they were not celebrated in the traditional manner that we do as law enforcement. They were never given their flowers while they were here. So we righted that wrong and we took care of that in front of families and friends last week. And it was a grand event. I just shared with the council and CBLT a message, a letter of appreciation from retired officer Mike Gannis, who in a very heartfelt way just spoke to how significant the event was last week for him and his family. So two good things coming out the police department within the last couple of weeks. As has been mentioned, I have been working with counselors McCleary and Counselor Lloyd, as well as Mr. John Coleman and other key staff members to try to see how we can best position ourselves to make this deal with Arabella become suitable for all sides. I know Counselor Lloyd and Counselor McCleary, they do have some ask that they're requesting from Arabella. And I feel confident that Arabella will be able to answer the call and that, we can all come together and hopefully get to the point where we can make this successful. That land has been of very little value to us as a tax base for decades. And we have a developer who's willing to work with us. And I do believe the effort does exist from both Councilor Lloyd, Deputy Mayor Lloyd and Councilor McCleary to reach a positive end state. So there's a lot of things going on behind the scenes and that we're working to bring a success on that. So I know we're scheduled for another meeting tomorrow and hopefully that would bear some fruit. So in an effort to be brief, that's where we stand. We did have our new town clerk start today, Andrea De Stefan, And she comes to us by way of Brookfield, Connecticut, a very seasoned, tenured, experienced, extraordinary woman. We're happy to have her in the fold. And she stepped in today, and it was a seamless transition. She's engaged in her initial orientation and training. Her onboarding is going well, so she's already making an impact. I'll close in just talking about our successes with the first ever community impact awards, which included Voices of Bloomfield as well as Warhawk Excellence. This was an opportunity for my office and my staff through me to basically acknowledge excellence of various types of citizens that work and serve here and live here in our community. And I'm proud to say that over this past summer, we handed out I want to say over 185 awards to deserving citizens that know that their town appreciate them for the numerous hours of volunteer services that they do, or just bringing their voice to concerns that impact us as a community in a positive way, or serving our community with their outstanding businesses, or just representing our community in outstanding fashion from their achievements as graduates of Bloomfield High. So I can tell you that that series of events, although it took away from some of the great music that occurred, I was indulged and allowed to just do what is most rewarding to me, which is acknowledging others. So I thank this council again and again to put me in a position to do just that. So subject to your questions, Mr. Chair, that's my report for this evening.
Thank you, Jim. Any questions? No? Some? No? Well, that's amazing. And so just want to thank you so much. And also I did want to touch on the point that, we've heard that name and Arbella, and I want to say while this is not the Finance Committee, I will be listening in and hope that we are all, able to come to some, agreement as to, what's going to be best for the town of Bloomfield. And I'm certain that the right folks are there who will be able to work it out. And so I'm grateful for that we're all here and know that folks are all interested in doing what's best. And I think I will leave that where that stands and like everyone else, await the outcome. And so we're going to move on to any public comments online? Anyone? No? No public comments? No public comments in the room? Well, we will, I'm sorry. Yeah, I will ask one more time. In any public comments? None. Going once? Twice? Thank you. So we'll move on to the approval of the July 7th minutes. If everyone has had a chance, an opportunity to review, would entertain a motion?
Move the accept.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
The chair votes aye, and those minutes pass. And we have come to the adjournment of this meeting.
So moved.
Excellent. Thank you all so much. Have a wonderful evening.